All right, we're here for another state of the GCU Lopes men's ice hockey program, and why not bring on the head coach, the man in charge, Danny Roy. Danny, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
A little suntan, I think. I think you got a little sun down in Florida on the last week for the convention, huh?
Yeah, it's nice weather, but I think Arizona's a little nicer. We don't have the humidity here. The weather's about the same, but it's a little more comfortable here.
Spoken like a true West Coastan.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about first of all this last weekend and some of the things that happened out at the ACHA national meetings.
It's always a good weekend out there. You get to network a lot with a lot of coaches you don't see around the league, and with us trying to become a Division I program, it gives us a chance to talk to a lot of the D1 coaches out there as well. So it was a fun weekend. The meetings, there's always some interesting stuff that goes on. A few people who disagree with the new changes. Everybody, a little bit of arguments here and there, but nothing major came up through the meetings. And then the cool thing was our women's program was able to get Community Service Award of the Year for the women's Division I league, and then I was awarded co-head coach of the year in the West region. The other one was John Eccles over at Utah State.
That's a great honor to have, and that was going to be my next question, is how does it feel to be coach of the year? You're kind of getting a little bit of recognition for the hard work you put in, and I've known you now for 3 years, and when you started this program. So what's it been like building this program from scratch?
It's been a lot of growing pains, but it's been a lot of fun, stress. It's been the entire melting pot there with everything going into it. The award was a great honor to get. It's voted on by the other coaches in the region, so it's a statement to what we've done, the impact that we've made, and what the other coaches see us doing. And it's it wouldn't be without the help of everybody else around me. So it's not just coach of the year. The way I look at it is coaching staff of the year, because without dedicated assistants, as pretty much as dedicated, maybe more than I am at times. We've collectively put a ton of work into this program, and then also the support of a university and a director like Dan Nichols to put the faith that we can build a program from scratch and make it successful. So it's a huge honor, but it's definitely a collective effort from all of us.
When I do the state of the hockey scene, I try to go through each program and talk state of the program. So let's talk first a little bit about the season that just passed and some of the things that you guys accomplished this year. I know you had goals, and I'm sure you met some of them and met a lot of them probably. But tell me a little bit about the season in your eyes.
Yeah, well, the goal was to be better than we were the year before. The goal at the end of the year was to be better than we were at the start of the year, and I think with these first 2 years of the program, we've hit that nail right on the head. We've brought in good recruits every year. We've brought in players who are helping us grow and are bought into building our culture, and it shows just from where we ended last year, or our first year at 30th ranked in the West, to finishing 9th ranked in the West and making it to regionals and going through the first round, and then having a close comeback to come up short against Wilson State there to go to the final game at regionals. So it's already showing the popularity of the program just from that growth that we've had. We're having a lot more players out there that are looking our direction and wanting to come see what GCU is doing and what it's all about to be a GCU hockey player. So we've excelled here, and we've hit our expectations. We've set high expectations, and the goal now next year is to grow from that regional tournament to national tournament.
Talk a little bit about some of the milestones that you hit. I know I saw you guys play NAU, and you had the opportunity to knock them off, and they're a good team, a team that won the auto bid into the national tournament. So tell me about some of the other milestones that you guys hit this year that you're proud of.
Yeah, well, we were able to get that first win over NAU, first win over a #1 ranked team in the West region. And that was a big one because that was in Flagstaff. Very difficult to win in Flagstaff.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are. It's a tough area. You got a tough fan base up there that's really loud and pretty aggressive against you. So that was a big win for us for sure. Then we got our first win against the Arizona State program, against their D2 program. We split with them this year. The year before we went 0-3 against them. So that's another building block there that we've hit. And then we had the big win, and by far right now our biggest win of our program, which was against University of Arizona,
right?
Who's a top 15 Division I team this year. So that was a big one for sure. And now our goal is to try and sweep a few of those series next year.
So I know your goal is set on moving up into D1 and having a D1 and a D2 program,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Give me some odds. What do you think after being at the national tournament? Do you think that's something that's going to happen this year?
The possibilities there. It's a little bit out of our hands because it is an application process. But what we've done and how we've shown that we've grown here, what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to put into our application the recruits that we're bringing in this year as well, and show that those players are D1 caliber players. And we don't have to submit until November 1st, so we have September and October there of our schedule where we play some tough teams in those first 2 months there. So I would be surprised if we didn't get voted in. I know the West really supports us of moving into D1. That way their travel is a little less there on the plane, and some more bus trips, or even for Arizona State a few carpool trips. So it's up to us to do our jobs, and that's how we've gone about this process. And we can only control what we can control, and that's the product that we put on the ice. That's the program that we put for our players, and how we treat our players, and from there I believe that will get recognized by the league, and they'll do what they need to do.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back and we'll talk about the future of GCU Lopes hockey. All right, we're back with another segment with the head coach from the Grand Canyon University Lopes ice hockey program. Danny Roy's back. And Danny, let's talk a little bit now about the future. I know this is a big weekend for you. It's prospect camp weekend. So tell me how things look for the future of GCU hockey.
It's looking great. Our success this year has definitely helped build the popularity of the program. We're attracting more players than we did in our first year at the end of that year, and so it's showing. Look like we'll have a pretty good group at camp. We're going to run a kind of like a practice style on Friday, and then Saturday those two skates we're going to break the group up into 3 different teams, a gray, a purple, and a white, and they'll each play 40-minute games each against each other. And then on that Sunday skate we'll group the entire group together and run a full scrimmage game. So they're going to get a little bit of a mix. They're going to get a little bit of competition there. The nice thing is there's a lot of 12th graders and some college freshmen and things like that. We have some recruits that we're actively recruiting right now that are coming in as well. So the group is a little older than it was in the past, and it's going to be exciting to see what shows up.
You know, when we talk about ACHA hockey, and for those that don't know club hockey, this is an important time for you, isn't it? The prospect part of it, as far as finding guys for maybe not this year, but the future years as well.
Yeah, well, it gives us an opportunity to show our program to players, to prospective players. It gives us an opportunity to also help players who might not know if college or juniors is the route that they want to go. We'll have player meetings with everyone, and if some players are thinking that they want to take a post-grad year and go play juniors, we'll help them out with that. We'll try and get them in touch with some coaches that we know, or just try to be a little bit of an educator there for them. And then it just gives us a chance to look at some players that are coming in as well ahead of time. So before they get here in August for move-in week, it gives them an opportunity to meet us, get on the ice with us coaches, see how we coach, get a feel for our coaching styles, and then we also throw in the campus tour in there as well. So you'd be surprised to see how many in-state kids have never been to Grand Canyon University. So it gives them an opportunity to go over there and they tour it and they go, wow, I didn't realize that this was here. And I've grown up in Arizona all my life. So it just gives you a collective experience of the program and university. So it's big. Yeah, it helps us a lot.
You and I were talking off camera about some of the changes with the ACHA down at the national convention or meetings, I guess. But tell us about the one that's a big one to you, I know, with the eligibility rules.
Well, they changed the eligibility. What's nice is they made it 5 years across the board. They made that change last year, so D1 has 5 years now instead of the 4 years. Which means if you move up or down and you have a program that has multiple teams, you're able to play your 5 years out. They added a clock onto that, so as soon as your season starts, your clock starts, and from that date you have 5 years to complete it. And then once you're 21, that clock starts as well if you haven't started. So if you're a junior age and out at 21, your clock will start. So it makes it a little more like that NCAA type rule. So I have my mixed feelings. I was one of those students who went to school and took time off school. So when I came back and transferred to Arizona, if that rule was in place, I wouldn't have been playing. Which if I wasn't playing, I probably would have been coaching anyways. So, but we'll see. It's the commissioners and the presidents and stuff like that are doing what they need to do to try and make the league taken seriously, and take away that club feeling to it. And there are programs out there that kind of take advantage of having that gong show look. And thankfully, the way that the ACHA has gone over these last 10 years since, I started in 2005. So since I started in 2005 around the ACHA, it's nice to see it that it's becoming a serious college hockey level.
That's what I was going to ask you, is the things that you've seen now in the development of the ACHA program and the seriousness of it, and the people that are going out to watch games and the teams that are being more competitive. It really has made a big difference, at least over the last 5 years, I would say, right? Yeah,
well, you're seeing schools now see the benefit of club, whether it's hockey or any other sport, just club sports in general. The benefit that they have on their university is if you bring in a staff that's at least taking it like a full-time position, and you kind of take that student-ran element out of it, you end up with somebody who's out there recruiting and bringing in players that are going to come there to play your sport and go to school. So those, at least at GCU, a lot of the players that we bring in, they wouldn't choose GCU if there wasn't hockey. And our president, Mueller, sees that club sports does that for our university. It brings in a student population that would probably have never been at GCU in the first place. And because of that, they put a ton of support into our programs.
Let's talk about the growth of GCU hockey. I can remember that first year when you guys had to skate through your team together, basically, to play in the men's league just to get a feel for it. Where are we at now, numbers-wise, on the men's and women's side for GCU hockey?
Well, women's gonna have a great year. Coach Rossi's done a fabulous job recruiting this off season, and last year did a great job as well. So with the base of the returning players and what she has coming in, I think they'll be at about a 30-player roster, which is great. It gives them depth, gives her a bunch of different options. For now, she could run an actual power play unit, and she could have an actual penalty kill unit and things like that. She could roll players in and out of the lineup. You have illness and injuries and things like that. It gives you the ability to have a full competitive lineup each night. And with the guys, we have Coach Powell's running our D3 side, and he's doing a great job helping us recruit. he's committing players to his roster and things like that. So he's making sure that the D3 roster is built before the season starts. We're making sure our roster's built, and then from that, all the empty spaces are going to be filled up at our camp. So we're looking at, the numbers, our goal is to have 30 player rosters on D2 and D3 next year, and have 2 teams that are competing for their postseason regional and nationals.
Let's take one more quick break, Danny. We'll come back and we'll talk about the real future, the long-term future for GCU hockey, and some of the things that are going on in your mind and your vision. And we'll be right back. All right, we're back for the final segment of our State of the Lopes, GCU Lopes men's hockey. We got Danny Roy with us again for one more segment. And Danny, I asked you before we went to break to tell me a little bit about what your vision is for this program. It's come a long way from the day that you started this thing, and I know your vision was to get it to where it is right now and beyond. But where do you see GCU hockey 5, 6, 7 years down the road?
Well, when we started, I put together a 5-year plan. It had year by year what we wanted to look like as far as number of teams, number of players in the program, what divisions those teams are at, and we're now at year 3 of that 5-year building process. So we're right on track of what I was expecting. We took the little bit of a gamble and jumped into the D3 team a little early last season. We looked at the mistake there and we revamped it, so now that's going to be where it was expected to be by this year. So the 5th year, the goal is to have Division I men's, Division II men's, both teams at their national tournament, and women's at nationals tournament at D1. So behind that, if we're bringing in players consistently and we're growing, the hope is to maybe have a women's development team that travels out to tournaments and things like that, so that way we have the continued growth of women's hockey here in Arizona, and give girls places to play and things like that. And then on the men's side, hopefully by that 5th year, if we have it, we could try and feed a D3 team back in there just as another developmental team. So
I know it's kind of taboo when we talk about it, but ASU jumped into the NCAA ranks, and now they're getting their new arena here in a couple of years, and on campus one. And obviously, as progressive as GCU is in their athletics, is that something that you think would ever be a possibility on campus at GCU?
It's something I can never talk for.
Right.
It's out of my control entirely. Like I've said, our goal as a program has constantly been to control what we can control and what's in our control, and that's growing each year. That's being a positive entity to the university, of bringing in students who stay with the university, they graduate from the university. So that's our biggest goal. If the momentum hits and all of a sudden something happens and we've done what we've been saying that we're going to do, you never know. You never know what our athletic director, what our president, what may happen at that time. I know I've been asked that question multiple times since taking this position, and it's my biggest goal of coaching, and the reason why I wanted to go into coaching was to coach at a high level. It's not to just stay at one level. I'm very happy at GCU. I could see myself here for the next 10 years. Honestly, I'm not in a rush to get out of here. I want to grow this program, and my coaches, or our coaches, have basically bought into the same model. Is they want to see this program grow and grow to the highest that it can possibly get to. And if it were to ever get to that point of NCAA talks and my name was thrown in the mix of getting a chance to interview for that position, that'd be great. But if it gets there and I'm not brought into that position, at least my resume of building a program and us getting it to that point speaks for itself. And if the time comes, then I have that back in me. But I'm enjoying where I'm at. love GCU. I love the support that we have. I love our campus, and my wife and I both love it here in Arizona. We're both not in a rush to move right now, and it's fun to see year by year and things like that what we have, and I would like to see this thing what it's like 10 years from now.
You know, we look at everything as timing, right? With ASU's program going to NCAA Division I level, and then also you look at UNLV now with aspirations of getting there. And you know, a few years ago, if somebody had said there was going to be NHL hockey in Vegas, and that team would be in the playoffs in their first year of existence, I mean, it might be a dream, but dreams come true, and the Vegas Golden Knights have proven it. So who knows where this program could go at that point, right?
Yeah, well, as of right now, I'm a little bitter on that program because I'm a Sharks fan, growing up in the North Bay out there in California. So
I didn't mean to twist that knife like that, but
so no, it's nice to see an expansion team that's been able to step in and play the where they're playing. Hockey's definitely grown out there. They got a ton of support. The way the arena runs things out there, and their production value that they put, it's definitely going to change the makeup of the entire league, because other programs right now, I'm sure, are looking at what they do for their promotion of their program, and are starting to bring in people or ideas to do the same. I could see the Coyotes revamping a lot of their stuff to really promote and build their fan base out here, much like that. So yeah, it's, there's a big push for Western hockey. It's, why wouldn't you want to live out in the West and play hockey? The weather's great, not just here in Arizona. California's got great weather. You got the beaches out there. It's a different atmosphere out west, and there is definitely a push for hockey out here. It's just a matter of who steps up and does it first, or who has the ability to do it.
Danny, I appreciate your time as always. Congratulations again on that Coach of the Year in the West region. That's a great honor. I know you've worked very hard at it, and very well deserved.
Thank you.